like, you're kind of talking out your ass a little bit, right? Like, are you gonna see this person again? No. Like, do you care? Yeah, like, to the extent that they're gonna listen to you, like, sure. Like, after they say go away, did you care then? No? Like, it's fine, doesn't matter. But I'm doing that stuff so we can build a bit of rapport, so it gives me time to help them understand what I'm doing and how important this is. And so I'm chilling the card with them, hey, yeah, this is blah, 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 blah. And the whole time my goal is to build value with the customer. Because you're like, oh man, I can spend half an hour with the person. Like, oh yeah, what was the help button? Oh, I don't know. Okay. Did you do a walkthrough? Well, no. What did you talk about for half an hour in that? I thought they were sure sale. And it's like, yeah, but like, at the end of the day, they don't really care about you that much. They just care about what you have to offer. And you're nice and they want to talk with you a bit. They're probably lonely. But at the end of the day, you talk with them so that you can buy time to build value with the customer. So I'm sitting down with him, I'm talking with him, and now I'm going to show you my iPad, exactly how I drop price every single time. If you guys are getting TIO'd, this is the way to drop price, okay? So I build it out and I re-go over the equipment. I've already done, yep.
What is TIO?
Thank you very much.
Okay.
Yeah, good question. So TIO is like you get in there, you drop the price, I'm like, yeah, like leave us a card, we'll think about it. Or, oh, I need to talk with my wife about this, or, oh, we need to chat with our landlord, or, yeah, come back in a couple days, or give us a month to think about it, or whatever. Now, I was going to get TIO'd by Andrew yesterday, right? He's like, oh, I just paid for all these renovations on the house, blah, 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 blah. He's going to TIO. He's going to come back June 1st, 2 weeks' time. No. No. That's not how the program works.
Right.
I'm not the errand boy.
Yeah.
I'm not coming back. If you want the deal, we do it today. Otherwise, you have to pay. So what did I do?
You offered to waive the...
Cash out him $80.
Yeah.
Paid for his first month. I gave him $80. I made $600. Easiest deal ever. Freaking loved it. Loved it. He's like, oh, you cover my first month? That's all I need to get, like, make sure that I'm good. Because he just didn't want to stretch himself. He wanted it, but he just wanted to make sure he was being taken care of, right? And people will shit test you like that all the time. They'll like want it, but they just want to make sure you're actually gonna like take care of them, follow through on them, look after them, take their phone call. If they have an issue, call you. Because we always live in the realm of what ifs, and we freak ourselves out with these what ifs. I'm like, oh, well, what if I don't want it? It's like, is the crime gonna get worse or better? Worse. Are you gonna need it more or less in the next 24 months? More. Okay, ADT drops the price, we price lock it, this is my number. I will take care of you. I get paid on my cancel rate. Okay, just like you have an agent for your house, I'm the agent for your system. Give me a call if you need anything. Caleb.
I was just going to say, I had the same exact situation yesterday. I had this lady whose husband was, I don't know if he hasn't been working, but he just started his job 2 days ago. Or it was yesterday, whenever I was telling him. She was like, yeah, my husband just got a job yesterday. He's a cook, he just started back up. So I didn't even know her husband was there. So I'm pitching her. I go and ask her for a credit card.
Oh, so you're billing.
Yeah. So I was at billing. She walks inside. She's like, all right, let me go make sure my husband's cool with it. So I'm like, well, shit, this is gonna go terrible.
Yeah.
And program. She's about to walk in. So she walks in. She's in there for a few minutes. She walks back out. She's like, yeah, we can't do it. We can't afford it right now. My husband literally just got, I thought she was bullshitting with me that her husband just started work. So I was like, so, yeah, I obviously, like, I don't want this to take, like, food off the plate. Like, if this is something that isn't going to benefit your family, like, I don't want you guys to do this. But with your husband just starting work, like, if I covered your first month or two, would that be something that will give you guys time to kind of get on your feet? And I kind of like said it real slow like that. They explained it thoroughly, and she was like, "Wait, what?" I was like, I knew I got her whenever she said, "Wait, what?" So I was like, "Yeah, so yeah, like can't tell your neighbors, but look, I obviously can tell you guys want this system." I can obviously tell you really want this system. It's just a rough time, and look, I really want this to benefit you guys, and I don't want you guys to miss out on what we got going on. So I want you guys to get back on your feet. I'll go ahead and cover. Yeah, I'll cover your first month for you. and we'll go ahead and do it. And then I kind of just went back in the billing, and then she started pulling out her card and gave it to me. And so I got the billing. I got the billing, started doing DocuSign. I finished the DocuSign and everything. And I said, all right, do you prefer Cash App, Zelle, or Venmo? And she said, what for? And I said, I told you I'd pay your first month. And she completely, she didn't even really want the money. She just wanted to feel like I was taking care of her. So I was like, well, I told you I was gonna cover your first month to help you out. And so she was like, oh, all right. And she didn't want to give me her Zelle at first. She was like, I don't. And then she just stopped herself because she could tell that that was the reason she wasn't getting it originally. So she kind of knew she just had to accept the money.
Yeah.
So
I've had people say that, and like they pull out their checking account and they got like 25 bands in their checking account. Like, oh, I can't afford it.
Yeah.
Oh, whatever.
She was a nurse, but her husband was a cook. So I sent her the money, and she was like, oh my God, you didn't have to do that. I covered 1 month, like,
yeah,
it was nothing.
What, $69?
Yeah, $70. So I sent her $70. She's like, oh my God, you didn't have to do that. I'm like, and then I just made her feel better. I was like, no, I just really wanted to help you out.
And then you say, yeah, like I'm happy to cover the first month. Just send me a referral. And then they feel like it's an exchange, and like it's fair. It's like, oh, I could do a referral, and yeah, this would help me get it. And say, okay, cool, we've done an exchange. Referral for the first month. And like, yeah, okay, I'll do that. Suitable. When I'm in the house, this is the way that I drop price, okay? I rebuild it out, and as I build it out, I'm building value on every single piece of the equipment, okay? So as I'm going through the SOP, I go through and I'm pressing plus, plus. I'm like, yep, obviously the doors, 80 to 90% of break-ins happen through the doors. So we arm all the doors for you. Now, we had 3 doors on the house. Is that right, Mr. Robbie?
Yeah.
Okay, awesome. And then at this point, I'll have established, has he used an alarm or has he not used an alarm? Yeah. If he hasn't used an alarm, then I'll really be in depth and visually show him, okay, this is what the door sensors look like. Now, if he has a nice house, right, it's all modern. What am I trying to emphasize? They're super slender, super sleek, they look modern, they don't add anything to the house. I mentioned that to Mr. Andrew because he just redone his whole house, right? Nice touch screen, looks modern. Yeah, just like that. And then if he hasn't used an alarm, glass break. Sometimes if people are super familiar with it, I'm like, yeah, glass break, yeah, I know what that is. I'm like, okay, cool. And I like give them the brief thing. Covers the windows, because people come through the windows, gives you that peace of mind if someone smashed the window. Now notice I didn't just explain the benefits. I explained like what it did for the customer. Smoke detector, glass break, Google doorbell camera, door lock, outdoor camera. Okay. So obviously we're not a charity, Mr. Robbie. Like I said, we are covering all the upfront costs today, right? And then I'll go back over here and I'll like give them the re-explanation. And this is what we call re-pitching. And so when I
You gotta get this, this part's important.
Okay, I see you. You don't want to take this.
Okay. Hello, Michael Manhire speaking.
Listen, Mike.
What do you mean you call me somebody? I'm gonna beat your ass. Okay, so I'll re-pitch them. Now, notice like when I was pitching yesterday, Hunter, I didn't just do my introductory pitch on the doorstep. I re-pitched advertising 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 times with the customer as to why they were getting what they were getting. When it makes sense to somebody, they will buy. But what's the golden rule? A confused buyer doesn't buy. So if they're confused, they will not buy, period, right? And it could be for the dumbest freaking reason. But if there's a little bit of confusion there, they won't buy. So you have to make it make so much sense to them, and then they will buy pretty much every time if they understand it. So I'm going with the price. I go, yeah. So obviously, Mr. Robbie, ADT is not a charity. With everything going on, a lot of neighbors want to get cameras, right?
Yeah.
And I'm looking at him, and I will be nodding like this, and then he will nod, and then he will start to convince himself because he is nodding that yes, neighbors want to get cameras. Dude, I'll get like motion sick by the end of the day because I'm like nodding so much, right? I'm like, yes, neighbors are looking at doing cameras, right? Now, obviously, we want neighbors to go with ADT. We want them to know that we have what they want, right? So, yep, exactly. So when they see the cameras on your home, they know that ADT has what they want. Instead of the neighbors calling up and buying it, we've come to you and we pay for it instead of paying for TV commercials. Obviously, this isn't a charity, Mr. Robbie. We do ask you to keep 2 of those signs out, okay? tell your friends and family, and be flexible with my technician, right? So if you can do that for me, instead of you going to ADT and having to fork out $1,900 up front.
Yeah, I don't have that. That's a lot.
Me neither, right? Yeah, you definitely need to think about it if we were doing that. And then you $199 to connect it, $275 for an install, $169 for a warranty. All of those big, expensive things up front. Literally, right here, that's what you'd be paying today. Does that seem pretty fair to you?
Yeah, that seems
Now,
fair.
that's because we've come to you and we've asked for your help, right? Now, the month-to-month is the only thing you'd be taken care of, and the super sweet thing is with you guys being a corner home, we do get a discounted rate compared to normal ADT. Normal ADT is expensive because it is the biggest and the best, right? So, and then I'll try and help him compare it. So, this panel right here is like a cell phone. How much do you pay for your cell phone?
Couple hundred a month.
Okay, like 180 or something like that. And then if the price is high, I go, oh yeah, that's pretty normal. So if he says anything above $100, oh yeah, normal. If he says anything below $80, I'm like, wow, man, that's crazy cheap, right? So that when I say $80, what's he thinking? Wow, crazy cheap. And then when
and that's for a smartphone. What do you think a smart home would cost?
Wow, crazy
Probably
cheap.
a lot more, right?
Wow.
The cool thing with ADT is yes, it normally is a lot more, but with me being with the advertising budget, we actually come along and instead of you normally paying $120, if you called up and did this later,
Yeah.
literally the only thing that you would be paying so that you don't have to think it over is just $88. That's it.
Just a month.
That's it. Now, when the alarm goes off, what would be the best phone number to call?
Oh, that'll be mine.
Okay, what I did there,
That
okay?
was gorgeous.
Every single time, okay? You have to transition. You have to transition. I'll hop on this all summer long. But like, this is what happens. So it's just $88.
Alright.
Do you like that or?
Yeah, that's pretty good.
It's pretty good?
Yeah, it's not too high.
Nice. Well, it would get cheaper too. And I'm sitting here like spinning tires talking about, and I guarantee you guys do this in every single part of the sale at the moment right now. You're like there, and you're like, well, the cameras record and they have a green light and they have a lens.
Send it to my email.
Well, yeah, actually, Mike, what is your best email?
Yeah, and Mike. Perfect.
And
And I can look
password
at
for
that
it?
over the weekend, and
So the only capture the program, and then I'll go back in and pitch him, or I'll say something like a bit more witty, right? So like, can I look at that again? Actually, the best part is you'll be able to look at that tonight and see if you like it, because we're unlike cable, right? Instead of scheduling it out 2 weeks, 9 to 5, you want to rip your hair out and they charge you a bunch of money. We go home to home to home. It saves us the time and money. We pass those savings on to you, Mr. Manhire.
oh,
Yeah, absolutely. Great, we do it. With the Mexicans, guys, you have to be a dog with the Mexicans. Like, Hunter yesterday was getting freaked out when I was with this Mexican guy. I'm like, when you're in Mexico, no one can shoot your guns. Your wife doesn't know how to shoot a gun. What's she gonna do? And we're like in the house, and I'm like going with this Mexican guy. I'm like,
You
no,
go hard on
seriously,
Mexicans, I don't
you can
care.
go hard on the Mexicans. I'm like, what is she gonna do? He's like, no, I just don't want it. I'm like, what part don't you want? Not to protect your wife and family? What part? And we're sitting there, and like, we're going at it like for like good 10 minutes. And it's like, no. And I'm like, is it the price? Like, you don't have enough money? It's a nice house. I know you have the money. That's a Louis Vuitton bag. So $50, come on. What's the issue? I pulled out my wallet. Let's put it. It's okay. You don't have the money. I have the money. $50. We do it today. Technician come today. Install today. Do it. He's like, I need to call my wife. And I'm like, okay. And she's like, yeah, she's not interested. I'm like, yeah, we haven't called her. Let's call her. Come on. And so like sometimes with the Mexicans, you can go hard. Like, because they will TIO you out the wazoo. Like, who's been TIO'd by a Mexican? Yes! Okay? Johan's laughing. He's like, I saw the Mexican and then he TIO'd me! So, like, yeah. With Mexicans, go hard. Now, that's exactly how I drop the price. I'm going to go through it one more time, okay?
$20 crack.
I build out the system. I show them how it all looks, and I confirm everything. So obviously we'll be covering the upfront cost of your outdoor camera to watch over your vehicles because Miss Lucy had a truck broken into. We're covering the doorbell camera because those kids have been coming through taking your lightsaber Amazon packages, right? Covering the door lock so that the kids can come home. Use the door code. The in-laws can come. They're not hiding a key under the gnome that someone can get into your house easily, right? The glass break because there was that child pornography pedophile guy that was getting into Miss Stacy's home, right? the smoke detector because there was a house on 46 that burnt down. And I'm going through and I'm building a shite ton of value, high, so that when I get priced, like, oh, that's it. And I don't ask them, like, I'll be like, yeah, it's just 88 bucks. And what was the best phone number for you? Now, if I've done phone number, I'll just go, and what was the best email for you? Now, if I've done smart home pay, right? What's the next thing I'm going to do? Okay, it's just 88 bucks. And if you want to grab your phone, I'll help you with the app. Just whatever the next thing is, I'm on to the next thing, right? What's another good example? So, oh, just 88 bucks. Say I've done smart home pay, I've done the emergency contacts. Yeah, I'll just go, yeah, if you want to grab your email for me, I'll help you out with that app. And I'll look back at my iPad, and then I'll just wait for him to literally hand me his phone.
My son's trying on wrenches today.
Alright,
Yeah, so guys, there's 3 places where you want to build value. I remember I was in my hometown and some guy shouted at me, like, yeah, you kind of just say the same thing over and over again. Yep. I was like, yeah, that's the exact point. Like, when you first go on the door, a lot of the times they're not even listening to you. So I'm super thorough. When I pitch on the doors, I'm going to be a little bit more vague. Hey, the camera's going to see what's going on, yada, yada, yada. I don't want to over-explain, but once I'm in the house and I'm sitting down with them, they're in their happy place. Like, they're comfortable, they're in their house, they're on their couch, they just gave you a glass of water. They're going to be able to retain a lot more information a lot easier. They're not thinking about, oh, it's hot out here, or my dog's going to run out, all the AC is blowing out of my house. Like, once you get inside the house, that guard goes down, and when you open your iPad, you can build a lot more value, and I drill the hell out of every piece of equipment. I go over everything, like super thorough to build as much value as I can. Because there's 3 parts in the sale. Let's go. Let's go. That's my dog right here. 5. Grady's doing the
5. Not Lamont. We're not clapping for Lamont. Not Lamont. We're not clapping for him. It's much better. It's much better.
But there's 3 parts in the sale, right? What are the 3 hardest parts in the sale, would you say? Your transition inside, the price drop, and the billing. So those are the 3 parts where I'm going to lose most of my sales, right? Because that's like a very abrasive, okay, they're allowing me to go to the next step. So the transition inside, right? What do I do before I transition inside? I get a hot button, right? And then I build value on the hot button. Now I make them want it. Then I can transition inside because I made them want something, so now, oh yeah, of course they're gonna allow me to move on with my process because I just told them something that they wanted, right? It's like if you made a transition when you didn't build any value, they're not gonna let you in the house because they don't see why would they want to talk to Colton? You haven't made them interested in wanting to talk to you, right? So when you pitch, we pitch the equipment, that's why we say find the hot button first. If you find the hot button and you talk about, hey, the camera's, oh sweet, can you show me where to put that? Bang, that's my transition. I get inside. I'm about to drop the price on him. It's probably one of the most important parts of the sale. So what do I need to do before I drop the price?
Value.
My value has to exceed the price, right? So I go back through. I build out my equipment list. I talk about every single benefit that they have. Tell them everything they like about it. And then I say it's only 88 bucks. I transition right into qualifying. Hey, we just got to make sure you're the homeowner here. What was your last name? Okay. And then I go back through my sale. And then what's the next part that I'm going to, that's the hardest part? The billing. What's right before the billing page? The equipment list. I'm going to build value again. I'm going to go back through it 3 times again. More thorough. Make them, tell them everything that they're going to get. And then I'm going to try and use tie downs. Hey, I know the smoke detector because you said your dog was part of the family. I know you were concerned about your daughter's window right there, so we're doing the glass break detector right there. I know you said you wanted your cars, and I'm building it all custom what they want in their house when I'm building the value. Then I say, I build all the value, literally it's all you pay. You can do this one of 2 ways. You can do it on a card or a checking account. Would you want to do it just monthly, quarterly, annually? Most people choose monthly. Is that okay for you, Mike? Okay, cool. So billing, or so transition inside, build value. Before your price drop, build value, and then before the billing, build value. So 3 times through.
So it's that way with everything in life. Like if the value is high enough, you won't question the price. And so take the extra 5 minutes to spend with the customer. Don't get skittish, don't feel uncomfortable, don't feel like you're wasting their time. They need this, it's important. Just take the extra 5 minutes to build that value.
Jackson Powell has been like the top seller for the 4 years that I've done it. Not did you beat him last year? He got you.
He took 3 weeks to catch up to me.
Yeah, he was our top seller. The kid's like, if you haven't met him, he's like kind of autistic. He's like kind of like he's very autistic. He's like a weird kind of odd kid, but once he's in the house, he builds the heck out of the value. Like he's super thorough about it, and he makes sure that he covers everything.
He will not leave.
He gets inside the house because that's not going to work. If you can't spend 45 minutes standing up with someone when it's hot out in their doorstep to build value. They're not listening. Get them to where they're comfortable sitting down on the couch at the table, and then you can build value. And they're gonna be listening to you a lot more.
Something that I think like we all need to work on is like I've heard this from multiple rookies and vets. Like I'm like, okay, where'd you lose them? And they tell me where they lost them. Like that was a smoke screen. They're like, oh, I need to do this. I'm like, so you were in the house, you qualified, and you left. You have to be like a dog with a bone, like a pit bull. Like you latch on to that person. Once you're in that house, do not leave without a firm no or a firm the tech is coming in the next couple hours kind of thing. You know? So don't get in the house and then the pressure of the sale builds up, you get uncomfortable, and then you wuss out. And then you leave. And it's like, okay, like why'd you leave? Oh, they had this or that or whatever. It's like, okay, you get paid to be a problem solver. You know what I mean? Like you get paid depending on how good your problem solving skills are. If you're paying a cashier or a cashier, they're getting paid to bag your groceries. They're not solving a very difficult problem. But if you're a heart surgeon, you're solving a very difficult problem, right? We have to solve problems for people. And so that's your job. When you're in the house, making the things line up, connecting the dots and solving their problems. So don't leave the house. If you get in the house today, be a pain in the ass, be a tick, bury in, be like a dog with a bone. Do not leave that house like until they're like basically getting upset. Like don't leave, because I guarantee you by the time they're upset, they're not even upset. They're just like mildly irritated that this kid is in their house. Like stay there until you feel like
they'll respect you for it.
They will.
Yeah, they're like, wow, this kid believes in what he's doing. Like he sees that they're willing to work hard, and you don't take no for an answer. Like especially older people.
Yes.
They think all of our generations are a bunch of like weak kids that are afraid to work hard. Like you can literally tell them, hey, Colin, I'm the hardest working 18-year-old you've ever met. Give me 5 minutes to show this. I promise I'll make it worth it to you.
They'll love that line. They'll love that line. So like small example of this, just to kind of G you guys up.
Especially for you young kids.
Yes.
Love it.
Small example of this, right? I was in a neighborhood 2 weeks ago, okay? Pitching the old guy. Loved it. Easy sale, like the cameras, blah, 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 blah. Wife pulls into the driveway while we're sitting outside, tries to squash the whole sale, right? No, we're not doing it today. I never make same-day decisions. We are not getting installed today. I don't want this. I'm not giving you my billing information. I'm not giving you my social, everything. Like, boom, boom, boom. Like, she was just like, and the husband was like sitting there. She's like, well, what happens if this happens? What happens if this happens? I'm only working on one thing. And easy for you to say, you're on this income, blah, 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 blah.